whether we're talking about Ukraine or Israel, it seems it's the United States and Great Britain who are most keenly allied and most surely gripped with the narrative of Ukraine can defeat Russia, just give them more support, more missiles, despite the fact that Ukraine has lost over 600,000 soldiers. And by all accounts, soldiers are just as more likely to run away from the battlefield because these are just poor, just men at this point who've been grabbed, teenagers up to people probably 60 years old, that they're just as likely to try to escape Ukraine. Far worse than the situation with the Vietnam draft dodgers, to be clear. But nevertheless, you find while Germany, Italy, France, Netherlands, all the sort of grounded European countries are saying no at this point. Poland is definitely saying no. Well, the majority of the leadership of those countries are saying no, and the leaders who might want to say yes for their own personal power, leverage, or their own personal expediency up the ladder to financial, I don't know what you want, immortality. I guess to become the 10 millionaire club, the 100 millionaire club, I don't know, billionaire club, whatever club makes them think they're going to live forever. I want to live forever. But Great Britain is stubbornly holding on to the idea, whether it's Boris Johnson talking about it, former, prime minister, or the current minister Starmer of committing these Storm Shadow missiles to the Ukrainian battlefield. There's no longer a Ukrainian battlefield. They made this Kursk offensive where Russia's nuclear power station is, and they are surrounded. It's only a matter of time before the best and brightest, if you will, of Ukraine's military are captured, and there's really no reinforcements left. So the gig is up. It's just a matter of provoke Russia into something more controversial or more provoke Russia, as in drone attacks on Moscow, do something to within Russia, whether through Ukrainian arms or auspices or apparently British or American arms or auspices. That's where we're at now. Ukraine cannot defeat Russia. And the powers that be clearly want World War III. But that's what I want to talk about. The powers that be, the old right hand, left hemisphere, the ego within and the ego without are coming into stark view now. So the sort of world's egomaniacal rulers are housed in Great Britain, the city of London, Washington, D.C. This is the real axis, okay? And the United States is on a whole separate hemisphere in the sort of Western hemisphere. And this represents the left hemisphere of the brain. This was Carl Johann Kalimann's work to correlate a change of dominance in the geopolitical sphere with the change of dominance in the internal dynamics of our cerebral hemispheres. That somehow we've detached ourselves and we become too left brain dominant. And returning to balance means giving the right hemisphere a chance to lead the show, the female aspect, as women begin to lead the world, just like as within, so without, as above, so below. So the right hemisphere of the planet represents Asia. And so this is the new axis of power, Russia and China. And we see Japan poised as well to join, while all these Southeastern Asian countries are in alignment from Myanmar, Burma, Thailand, Vietnam, Laos. They're all coming into alignment with Indonesia. And then you have this Central or Eurasian alignment of all the Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Kazakhstan with Russia and Iran. And Pakistan soon as well, and India. So this is a reflection of what's happening within the human brain as the left side, the right hemisphere, begins to take over, because the left side, right hemisphere of the brain is just more balanced and more understanding and doesn't see itself as being separate. It sees itself as part of a whole, an organic biological whole, and that whole can be projected out to the world. So we're part of an organic whole called the world. And you could even extend towards the universe. We're part of a whole called the universe. This kind of mentality leads you to be more peaceful and more honest with yourself and your feelings, and not to allow somebody else to provoke you to act selfishly or impulsively. It's a more balanced approach to life, and this is what the earth is coming to. And however violent the times get, it's a reflection of the necessity of making this internal shift. With the left hemisphere has to let go, and we can feel our energy in both our hands and our feet instead of just our right hand. For the right eye, left hemisphere to let go and realize that it doesn't control everything or everybody, doesn't have all the knowledge, never will have all the knowledge, will not have enough rational, logical, computational means to solve all the problems. It's just not possible. There's a higher self, and there's an intuitive guidance, there's a musicality to life that the right hemisphere, the left side, can appreciate, the musicality and the synchronicity, the rhythm of life that the right hemisphere can pick up on. So intuitively you can get that guidance that keeps you at the right place with the right attitude at the right time, so you feel that emotional resonance with your reality and a greater degree of resilience against negative emotions. And all this is happening as we're all being tested, of course, as the tribulation has been ongoing from the COVID, before that even the 9/11 era. This fear, the fear that keeps you under the clutches of a centralized ego power of the left hemisphere of the brain, and the centralized ego power of the World Economic Forum, or the World Health Organization, or the just the mainstream mass media. All of this is obviously coming to an end as the grip on control to cybernetically enhance us to create a hive mind consciousness for humanity. It's just not natural. We're not predisposed to a hive mind consciousness. We're individualized, and we are meant to be given this chance to see ourselves as one on our own terms, okay, through an organic mixing of our cultures and our religions. And that's what's going to happen despite everything else you're reading and seeing. People are organically mixing as they really, lace up their shoes and their boots and go out and into a wild, wild west right now, because it's all up for grabs. From 9/11 was an inside job to aliens exist and we've made deals with them in the past, and there are good ones and there's bad ones. Reincarnation is real. Jesus went to India. I mean, all these things are just all coming out now. Yeah, they killed JFK and RFK, and that it's so refreshing, if you will, to be part of this information stream that just is just getting the truth out to people, however you take it. It's not meant for me to decide how you're going to receive the information. At some point you will receive it. It's about relaxing all the areas around your pelvic basin and your abdominal muscles to really sort of receive something and allow yourself to become grounded in it, and to let go of all your defenses and just relax. And that's how you achieve enlightenment, is relaxing into it. Is to stop fighting it. You can't fight enlightenment. That's what the Buddha learned. There's no amount of starvation that will get you to enlightenment, no amount of exercise or activity, no amount of exertion. But of course, it's also not non-exertion, no amount of sitting and doing nothing and not exercising, no amount of hedonistic pleasure. It's got nothing to do with any of that. It's just the proper orchestration of your 7 chakras to create an organic sense of wholeness that leads to interconnectedness, and puts you in the right place at the right time and allows your light to shine. And then you can go on and be a blessing to others, as above, so below, as within, so without.